My name is Rhapsody and it's achievement hunting time here in Slay the Spire. The achievement in particular we will be going for this episode is complete a daily run. It also happens to land upon the episode where I would have to play an Ironclad anyway, so I don't have to change the thumbnail ordering. Hey! It also happens to have Sealed Deck, which is one of my favorite modifiers. Craft a deck from 30 random cards, as well as Time Dilation. All enemies start with the slow debuff, as well as Binary. Card rewards contain only 2 cards. So, let's talk at the start of this episode for a moment about the foundational aspects behind why I do or do not play daily modes in this game. I guess the easiest one is I don't like competition. Regardless of whether or not I would do okay in it, I don't like competition at all. Frankly, I find the only important competitor that I can face is a past version of myself. All I have to do is be better than I was a couple days ago, a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago. So going up against other people is kind of demoralizing to me. That is the least important of the reasons. Probably the most important of the reasons is it gives me a split priority, right? Do I want to create what would be most interesting or unique for a build for an episode? Or do I want to do what would be the best for the score so that I can place highest on the leaderboards that I am available to at that point in time? And those are fundamentally different things. Playing for the high score means that you want to go for 4 copies of every available card that you can get into your deck. You need the deck to be relatively thick because you want the Librarian plus bonuses, Encyclopedian I think it is actually, plus bonuses. You want to get 5 curses per run. You want to go to 15 question mark spaces, no more than that, so that you can make sure that you can go to as many normal combat spaces because each of those are worth 2 points. You're also going to want to make sure that you pick up 25 plus relics. So you do want to hit as many elites as possible. You want to perfect every elite and perfect every boss, so you definitely want to play something that's overly defensive rather than overly aggressive. It enforces a particular style of play. There's no real contest to that. You just do best practices. And to do daily challenges consistently and just follow the same set of best practices, to me, and I have to imagine to a significant portion of you, would be boring as hell. Now, some of you are going to think, no, it wouldn't be. You would find it would be, should I decide to do it. So I also have the problem of, if I do eventually want to do just scores, then I need to get better at doing just scores, which means I have to do a lot of it, which means that I'm doing the same thing constantly. Thankfully, I have the pressure of needing to choose 10 cards here. I mean, there's already a Whirlwind, so that's an obvious one. 2 copies of Body Slam, as well as Shrug It Off, Armaments, no. There's not enough defensive cards here in order to make Body Slam viable, unfortunately. Obviously not Perfected Strike, there's not strikes here. Whirlwind is definitely one of them. If I go just attacks here, I can go like Whirlwind Clash. Actually get to use Clash in a main episode. Ooh, I'm actually excited for that. So it'd be Whirlwind, Warcry, Clash, Iron Wave. Whirlwind, Warcry, Clash, Iron Wave. So that's only 4 of the cards. Sever Soul gives me the ability to trigger the Clash. 2nd copy of Warcry, so we're up to 6. Infernal Blade, when upgraded, is just going to be good for us. 2 copies of Infernal Blade, so I get up to 8. Another copy of Sever Soul gets us up to 9. And then I'll just take a copy of Cleave. In fact, you know what? The 2nd Sever Soul isn't necessary. I'll take 2 Cleaves. So Cleave, Cleave, Whirlwind, Warcry, Warcry, Clash, single copy of Sever Soul, Infernal Blade, Infernal Blade. I have missed one of the cards that I said that I was going to pick up. Did I? Oh, Iron Wave, yeah. Neat. Alright, so 4 elites this floor. Just have to fight all of them. Don't really have a choice. So I'm gonna slightly, I guess. Hang on. There we go. So I'll be slightly going for the score here, but I am going to prioritize having a run that's kind of consistent. Fire breathing, like, this deck is intentionally only going to put attacks in it, so fire breathing might actually end up being a significant amount of damage, so I'll take it for that reason. Because of the time dilation on these enemies, ooh, thunderclap, nice. Because of the time dilation on these enemies, I want to play as many cards as is humanly possible. Which ain't too difficult to do when you have a bunch of 0-cost cards in your deck. Oh. Relic, relic, relic. Got it. Bronze scales. Every time you take damage. Sorry, every time you take damage. Every time you take attack damage from an enemy. You're gonna want to deal 3 of that back. Opposite order there. Obviously better. Vulnerability before the attack, rather than the opposite. Damn. Oh, right! Flame actually got it for me. Neat. Take nothing there. Alright, so we want Flame Barrier upgraded so it costs 0, so that's actually easy to play, but Whirlwind is the most important upgrade in the entire deck, just for impact's sake. So, slow, by the way. Time dilation, all enemies start with slow debuff. Slow debuff being every time you play a card in a single turn, increase all damage taken by enemies by 10%. Not all damage. Attack damage taken by enemies by 10% for the rest of that turn. Sweet. Come on. Whirlwind this hand. Neat. It's enough for the kill. And we get Preserved Insect. Enemy in elite combats have 25% less HP, as well as another copy of Iron Wave. Iron Wave providing some defense to this deck. Frozen Egg. Whenever you add a power card to your deck, upgrade it. Okay. Sure. I guess. Both of those Infernal Blades need to be upgraded as soon as possible. Reduction of their costs so that I can definitely play them, even if I have Blur in the same hand. Not Blur. What is it? Even if I have Clash in the same hand is the important factor there. Hell yeah! Lantern started combat with additional energy as well as another fire breathing. Oh my god, we're actually doing it. I am so pleased. Let's get that Sever Soul out of the deck. Combust? Eh. Did it get upgraded? Yeah, it did. Good. Okay, so it's much more playable now that it's been upgraded. Provides AoE to us for a reasonable amount. Got him. Boom. Self-forming clay. Whenever you lose HP, gain 3 block next turn. Okay, so that makes our previous selection a lot better. Neat. And louse down. We're actually managing to avoid a lot of damage here that I didn't expect we would be able to. Quite pleased. Upgrade the other fire breathing, so each of them are easy to play. Yeah, this combat is going to be a little bit trying, so I'll use the strength potion here. It's important I don't play the Immolate this turn because I don't want to include a curse into my deck yet. Curse status, rather. So we're definitely going to be taking damage in this combat. We don't really have the ability to choose that. So our goal, therefore, becomes kill the enemy as quickly as possible. Neat. All right. Double tap. Huge for this deck, obviously, because this deck is all attacks. We'll take the Runic Dome, not being able to see enemies intense when it doesn't matter to us, because we're already just attacking. It's totally fine for us. Left-hand side gets us 2 elites, 2 rests. That is actually the highest that I can get is 2 elites, 2 rests. But I can also get more question marks if I take this line. Neat. So we want to go from lowest damage to highest damage in each of those attacks. Yes. Flex is actually huge for this deck. Just a single copy is fine. Don't want too many of them. Whee! Just a single bird left. More than happy to murder you. Nope. Definitely not Perfected Strike. Extremely difficult to make that viable in a deck that doesn't start with all the relevant accoutrements, shall we say. All of the fashionable appurtenances for such a card. Double tap the Carnage in the back line, then murder the front line. Neato. Burrito. Do I take a Twin Strike here? Just because it's been pre-upgraded. It's quite a lot of damage. Yeah, I'll take it. Ooh, Pendib. Every 10th attack you play deals double damage as well as a Bag of Preparation. Both of those huge pickups for us, but there's a Fire Breathing, so we'll take that first. We'll take the Bag of Preparation, actually, and then a card removal on... you know what? I actually don't care to card remove here. We'll take a Finesse. A little bit of defense. Would have preferred that to be some sort of card that synergized with Fire Breathing, but unfortunately it wasn't. Alright, back lineup. Please don't be attacking this turn. You're attacking this turn. Lame. Sure, I would have been able to tell whether or not they were attacking this turn had I had the Runic Dome, but I wouldn't have been able to do as impactful things as I did there had I not taken the Runic Dome and taken some other form of energy or no energy. Peace Pipe, whenever you remove cards... Sorry, rather. You may now remove cards from your deck at rest sites. I want a lot of them upgraded, but double tap... Sorry, upgraded. I want a lot of them removed, but upgrading double tap there is actually way more important. Oh, hell yeah. Managed to actually murder the frontliner on that turn, and then boom. I'll remove the speed potion because it's actually really difficult for us to utilize that effectively in this combat. You can no longer become frail. Yeah, don't care about that. If I wanted scores, I would have started taking curses earlier. So, just a slight note as to why I'm not doing that. Double tap the Thunderclap and then double tap the Whirlwind for the easy kill. I'd also be padding the deck a lot more than this. I feel like this is the most interesting deck that I can build. A deck that actually uses fire breathing to some considerable extent. Frontline is not attacking this turn, neither is the backliner. They're both just setting up. Hey. Another fire breathing! Oh my god, this may actually have been drafted as a fire breathing deck. Yep, Smith again. Get the Infernal Blade upgraded. I also should have probably kept the Ancient Potion there so that I can keep the strength that I get from Clash. That's entirely my bad. I think I made a wrong decision there. Actually gonna gain block this turn. Damn it. Enemy used their single large attack on that turn. That's the worst case scenario for us. Just happened to be the most relevant one as well. Lame. I was very much hoping we would end up in a, or rather would end up in a situation where we didn't need to defend at all. Sweet. Final Infernal Blade is upgraded. Short-term combat is so much easier for us than long-term combat, with this deck in particular. Right. Enemy is about to split. Double tap the Iron Wave and then the Body Slam thereafter. Best damage I could get out that turn. So the enemy is now purging this turn. Not too difficult to kill them in the next turn from now on. Yeah, that'll do it. Neat. So, not perfected, obviously, but still really interesting fight. I'll take another copy of Double Tap. That's actually huge for this deck. Sozu, you gain energy at the start of each of your turns. So you can no longer obtain any potions. We could have picked up the Calling Bell there in order to get 3 more curses. That would have been for the win condition. Not win condition, but for the play condition of trying to get as high a score as possible. Not particularly interested in doing that, frankly. At the very least, not at the moment. I'm okay with alternating between doing that and doing kind of whatever looks like it would be most interesting and most unique in a daily run. But even that has its own problems of, okay, but... Yikes. There's 2 repulsors out on the field. It is really difficult to decide what to do here. One of them was attacking this turn, unfortunately. Double tap an Iron Wave. So we're just getting as much AoE out this turn as we possibly can. I can alternate between them, but I think that's probably not a great idea. At the very least for the consistency of play and for my ability. It's important I finish that as soon as possible, frankly. Nope. Too much to pay for a relic there. Lose the max HP. Don't need to thicken up the deck at all. Definitely don't need to trap my opening hand. I mean, extremely easy combat. Thank you very much for the mercy you've taken. I'd love to take that strength potion, but Sozu... I don't know if we stand too much of a chance against the transient here. That is to say, in perfecting it. I think we'll be able to prevent ourselves from taking any damage from it, but I don't know if we'll be able to perfect the fight. Being able to weaken the enemy indefinitely here is incredible. Got him. The interesting thing about this deck is, despite the fact that this is possibly the best deck for fire breathing to be in, fire breathing isn't doing much in this deck. At least not compared to all the other elements of this deck and how impactful they are. That's one of the reasons that, I have to imagine at the very least, that's one of the reasons the designers consider fire breathing their first card post official launch of the game that they actually still want to rework. No. The most impactful thing that we can do here is double up on Whirlwind. But by doubling up on Reckless Charge first, we got 2 more charges towards the slow on the enemy, which was what made the difference there. Take a pre-upgraded Cleave. If I get 1 more, that's, 25 bonus points to our win condition. Enemy doesn't attack on the first turn, so we don't need Iron Wave here. Double tap. An upgraded Iron Wave. Not only an upgraded Iron Wave, but an upgraded Iron Wave that had a significant amount of slowness behind its own power. Hopefully the enemy isn't attacking for as much as they possibly can here this turn, because they could deal like 20-something damage to us. Yeah, they did. Damn. Rough, but it was bound to happen eventually. Murder. Take a Pommel Strike. Draw is actually really important. We have enough energy that... and enough zero-cost cards in the deck that draw is really important, especially in the first shuffle. Damn it. They couldn't be going for the debuff in the first turn, like all ordinary folk. Sure, another Twin Strike, so another Twin Strike is also extra for us. The boot, whenever you would deal 4 or less unblocked attack damage, increase to 5, and... remove the Cleave. All of those have 1 more copy in order to be quadruplicate, so, you know, not super pleased with that. Come on, and murder. I don't have enough vulnerability in the deck to take Dropkick and be comfortable with it. We literally just have the Thunderclap, so I'll take another copy of Combust, I guess. Upgrade the other double tap, I think, is going to be the most impactful thing that we can do in that space. Definitely go to this shop at the very end of the run. We may end up perfecting this boss fight, depending on our next draw. Alright, never mind. You won't end up perfecting this boss fight. Oh, wait, hang on. Never mind, I've miscounted. We do. Juicer Bracelet. Normal enemy encounters are no longer encountered in question mark rooms, and it's impossible to do so anyway. Battle Trance is huge there, as well as... Oh my god, Panache. Every time you play 5 cards in a single turn, deal 14 damage to all enemies, as well as Unceasing Top. If you have no cards in hand during your turn, draw a card. We'll also take Hand Drill. Whenever you break an enemy's block, apply 2 vulnerability. It's either that or it's Spot Weakness card removal. And Spot Weakness card removal. Get 9 wave out of there. It's actually kind of useless for the deck as it currently stands. Yeah, Spot Weakness is obviously incredible because most of our cards are attacks. Only the backliner is definitely attacking this turn, so that'll give us our strength. Woohoo! Demon form. Alright, let's Warcry to put a Twin Strike back on top of the deck, and then double tap the Searing Blow on the back line, and then double tap a Whirlwind for a ridiculous amount of damage to everyone. Neat! Kills the back liner for us. Could have played the Demon Form at the very end of that turn if I had have thought about that, but I didn't. Double tapping the Fiendfire does nothing here, unfortunately. Well, it does actually burn out the entire deck and then draw 1 more card. I should have considered that. Not that it would have made a difference in my decision making. Alright. Unfortunately, we were 18 HP's worth of damage away from perfecting this fight, but you know what? Somehow I think we've done okay. So 24, we're under 25 minutes. 952, yeah, not a ridiculous amount of damage. If we'd focused on collector bonuses and perfecting the bosses that we were fighting, so going for a less aggressive build, then we would have been much better in, or much more solidly in for a shot there. Let's look at the daily climb and view my score. Yeah, 194, not good at all, frankly. So yeah, this is what happens when I'm like, I would like to do something interesting. A all fire breathing build? That's cool. But it's not particularly good for a score, and it's very difficult to make that good for a score. You're playing with a restriction that other people aren't, if you're doing that. Point in case, this run. For the moment, my name has been Rhapsody, the name of the game has been Slay the Spire. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time.